Well, thanks everyone for joining. Go ahead and get started. So I'm Catherine Villasenor. I am the Data Analytics and LMS Specialist in the Office of Digital Learning. And today I'm going to be presenting Suno, which is a musical AI tool that can have a lot of use cases, I feel like, in a lot of areas, but specifically today we're going to be focusing on higher education. A little bit about what it is. Like I mentioned, they have an app and a website, and it allows you to create songs. So everything from what you want the lyrics to sound like, or the type of music, the genre. You can customize that a lot, or just let it do the work for you and kind of let it choose what it's going to sound like or the lyrics for you. And what you do, it works similar to other AI tools where you give it a prompt and then you let the tool kind of do the work for you. You can create songs, playlists, and you can also see what other users have created. So there's like an explore and search area on the page, which we'll take a look at shortly. So you can also connect with the community and see what other users are creating. So some interesting features to mention. We're going to do a demo of what the website looks like and how you can use it. But just some things I want to point out is that it allows you to upload your own recordings now. So this is a new feature they added. But if you have a certain, if you are a musical person and you have your own recordings with instruments, you can go ahead and use those. Or if you have certain audio clips with words or phrases that you'd like to include in a song, you can also do that. And then if you activate custom mode, it lets you kind of co-create and write your own lyrics instead of just giving it a prompt and letting it create its own lyrics. Or you can also choose a musical style, but you need to activate the custom mode in order to do that. And then finally, you can share the songs directly with others through a link. So in this case, if, for example, you can embed it in Canvas or in a course, or if you want to share it with students or have students share it with you, you can have them send you the link for the songs they created, or you can also just make the songs public and let anyone that's on the platform listen to the songs you've created. So this is what the website looks like. Once you log in, you'll be in the home screen and you'll see some creations that other users have made. You can scroll, see what are like trending songs or playlists. It'll prompt you to create an account. So right now I already have my account open. I created a free account. There's a free and paid version. We'll go over those details shortly. You get a certain amount of credits for free that you can use, and you just sign up with your email, create a password, and that's pretty straightforward. Here you can see, like I said, the homepage where you can explore. Where you would want to go to create your own songs is on this side to create. And here's where you'll type a prompt where you want to say, turn up the weather. And so you would be as specific as you want. I would say with any AI tool, the more specific you are, the better. And so specify the genre, everything like that. And then you just click create and it will create the songs for you here. And you can choose if you want it to be instrumental. If you don't select this, it'll have lyrics. And here's the option where I was talking about that you can upload your own audios or recordings, and the feature to create custom to kind of write your own lyrics as well. So these are some of the songs I've created that we'll have a chance to listen to shortly. And this is the song it created now. So it's pretty quick. Songs tend to be about 2 minutes long on average, but that's also something you can specify. So that's kind of an overview of the app. Here we have the library where you can see what the songs that you've created, your own playlist, users that you follow or that follow you. And then in Explore, it's kind of just a broad view of a lot of songs that people have created. So you can click on them randomly, and if you do, they'll start playing. So this this can be an area for inspiration if you don't know what type of song you want to create, or you want to see what other people are creating. This is where you would want to go. And then we have the search area where you can also explore what other users have created, and you can filter if you want to see the most recent, the ones that are trending, or the more relevant ones. And you can also like the songs. You can share them with other people, even if you didn't create them. Or you can extend the songs to make a longer version of them, add them to your playlist, or report if you don't think it's appropriate. So these are the features that the website offers. And like I said, they also have an app version that you can use. Some of the potential uses that I kind of thought about that we can use in a university setting are, for example, in music competition or theory classes. This can be used to analyze how songs are made, kind of what makes a song, and see what AI is using to create a song, or kind of the patterns that it's following. So to analyze that part can be really interesting. Or just in general for creative assignments, you can ask students to generate songs based on specific parameters, and then you can let students explore their creativity and see how they apply the theoretical knowledge that you've been going over in class. In different language and literature classes, you can use Suno to create songs in different languages, and you can specify that you want to use like very basic vocabulary, and it can be a great way to learn new languages. And also just for cultural studies, you can also explore different styles, like ask to create a song from a specific region, and you can start seeing what type of beats it picks up, or what the lyrics look like, depending on the culture that you're exploring, and just have a better understanding of music around the world and different traditions or nuances that might be specific for certain cultures. Another one is for obviously digital media and production courses. I think this is an amazing tool if you're trying to create a soundtrack for a video, a movie, something you created. What's really was the fact that you can give it a prompt, so you can describe the scene or kind of what's happening in the production that the student made, and it can have a song that's going to fit that really well. And you can also just explore AI a bit more. I feel like it's a cool way to see how it's working, or like I mentioned, for the patterns that it's picking up to create certain songs or beats. I think it's also really important to just get students more familiar with these AI tools, because I wouldn't be surprised if just in general in the media and production industry, AI is just used more and more. So having that experience while you're still in university can be great for going out to the field. Some other use cases is in psychology and counseling programs. You can create songs to evoke certain emotions, or calm down in stressful situations, or just process certain experience better. So I think it's a great tool for that as well. Just like I mentioned, because of that personalized aspect of the app. So you can really create something that's going to help an individual in a specific, and you can also choose the lyrics. So we'll see an example shortly, but you can make the lyrics be very motivating, uplifting, encouraging, and that can be great for psychology or counseling programs. And also for research purposes, you can kind of create different songs and do some research on how people feel when they hear certain lyrics or beats versus others. In STEM and education, you can definitely use this to analyze, like I mentioned before, the AI aspect of it and the behind the scenes, the algorithms that it's using, and kind of dive into that.
Catherine, can I interject real quick? You
Yeah, of
mentioned
course.
the psych and counseling. So my wife Sarah, she's a LPC, but she works in a public school. So we were talking about this. I was introduced to this platform a few months ago through I think Emily had kind of turned us on to it, and so but you brought up that idea of like I guess maybe specific songs for specific, and so she was kind of started looking at and again, this idea kind of came from Emily. I think you were talking about, was it I don't want to, surely no one on this is not a surprise that anyone on this call is gonna break, but did you have like a family member that's gonna do something for a like specific for a wedding anniversary or something, write a bunch of songs about someone?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had, well, we've been making them for gifts too, for specific occasions like birthdays. We put a lot of memories into a song and it can write lyrics for, according to those specific memories. So you can make something that's like super specific to a person, which is really cool, or an event or an idea.
So I really got that from Emily, but for Father's Day, so I have a 17-year-old and he now has entire AI playlists because of this website. And I can't tell what they are. Like if you're familiar with Bo Williams at all. So some, you can say just on some of these, you can say, in the style of Bo Williams and it'll do it. I think if you say Taylor Swift, it stops and it goes, I'm not going to copy it. So I don't know how it makes those decisions. That's always evolving, but sorry, all that to say, he had put together some songs and he was like, hey, listen to my new playlist. And on Father's Day, there were a couple that were like, they were really nice, but they were like, specific, he put in like, write something about my dad. So to tie all that back to Catherine's comment, what made me think of is Sarah was talking about, like there's some specific, like with specific kids and these, that they work with, there's some so she was thinking like, we can make little songs, like for those students. I don't know how that translates instructionally into your class, but you'll come up with fun ways to use it anyway. So sorry, Catherine, all that made me think about that whole kind of, I guess the events that led up to that moment of like, so anyway, yeah, but yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that was a very interesting application on psych and counseling.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing. It's awesome to see that it's actually being used for that. And yeah, I use it on right now we're focusing on how it can be used in the university thing, but personally, I use it a lot with friends as well and like for special occasions. And they're always surprised because it's always a fairly new tool. So if you give them a description of who they are, what they do, and the genre they like, and you just randomly send them the song they don't expect, and then they're like, wait, the song is very resembling of who I am. So it's a fun tool. And then finally, it's the last use case. In marketing and business courses as well. So you can create songs, background music for advertisements, similar to in the media and production, or to promote certain content, certain products. You can get very specific to that product. So you can also see how the student is thinking about the product, how good the student knows the product, is describing it. So you can test a lot of things, I feel like, through the songs that they make. So it's a very creative way of having an assignment. And then, yeah, it's kind of adding the aspect of if you're creating a brand, for example, thinking about the music that fits that brand and what you want to evoke in the consumers can be a really interesting use case as well. And in the entrepreneurship side, you can also have students explore how AI is going to change the industry or integrate with the industry and look into the licensing, the distribution, how you can monetize these productions and kind of analyze that aspect of the apps as well. And so here are some example prompts that I kind of created and tested. So we're gonna get a chance to listen to a couple of these so you can see kind of what the songs sound like. So for example, this one, I asked it to generate a song in Spanish about the seasons using simple vocabulary suitable for beginners and include a catchy chorus with repetitive verses.
Brisas en el aire,
okay, perfect.
Días largos de playa, brisa en mi cabello, hojas caen otoño.
We won't listen to the whole song. It would take all the rest of the time, but that's kind of an example of what it sounds like. And then I'll share a different one. The prompt was create a pop song about the basics of machine learning, covering terms like algorithms, data sets, training, and prediction. And the song.
Start with data sets, those letters too. Feed them to the machine. Teach it what to do. Algorithms like magic.
And then next one, the prompt was produce a high energy electronic dance music track suitable for a video game soundtrack, emphasizing a driving beat and futuristic sound effects. That's all.
Feel the pulse, the beat, lights are flickering. Future's here, it's bright. Let the rhythm take you high, speeding through the night.
So I can definitely see that being background music or the intro of a video game. I don't know about you. And then finally, the last one, I asked it to generate a motivational pop song with uplifting lyrics aimed at boosting the listener's mood and confidence, include a strong and positive chorus.
In the light we wake, every day a chance to take. Shine so bright, no fear, no break. Stand up tall for our own sake. Stormy skies, we face them strong. In our hearts where we belong. Find our voice inside the throng. Every note a triumph song. We rise up like the morning sun, facing challenges one by one. We believe in the power within. Hold our head high, let the journey begin.
So those are some examples of what you can create, and you can hear like it or dislike it. So if you dislike it, I believe they disappear. So you can kind of keep only the versions that you like, or keep asking it to create a new version. But it's a great starting point to having your own creation of songs. And finally, like I mentioned, there's two options here. So if you're interested in playing around with this website, you can do the free version, which is what I use for all of the creation. It gives you 50 credits per day. So you can create approximately 10 songs. Each one of them is 5 credits. And you can give it like a basic prompt and select the mood, genre, or if you want it to be instrumental. And that's all included in the free version. And then with the paid version, there's kind of two options, the Pro plan and the Premier, which the Pro is $8 and the Premier is $25 a month. It gives you a lot more credits, so you can create more songs, which is really good if you're trying to find like the perfect song, for example. Then you might want to explore that option because you might want to try different prompts or switch it up a couple of times, and each one of those will be costing you credits. And an interesting point here is that you can actually use it for commercial use if you have the paid version. So I believe I would have to do a bit more of a deep dive into the whole licensing and legal aspect, but it looks like with the basic feature, you wouldn't be able to do that. And then you also get more, you can customize the songs a bit more with this option. And then the Premier plan is a lot more credits per month, and you get full commercial rights, and you have more advanced tools. So if you're trying to do maybe a very specific production or something like that, it might be worth exploring this option. Yeah, that's the website, that's the app. I hope you liked it and you find some interesting use cases for your classes. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much. This very interesting AI tool. And can you go back to slide number 7?
Yes.
So this one is very interesting, and it catch my attention about the two-term education. You say AI machine learning courses. So AI machine learning through practice use of Suno to understand how generate model works something. Can you give us some example on how to apply this one to machine learning or AI something to predict model? That's what you mean?
Yes. So for this one, I think there's two areas. One of them can be create with your kind of exploring certain terms or concepts. You can give a prompt like the one I mentioned where I asked it to, I think it was create a pop song about the basics of machine learning covering certain terms. So that can be one use case. I think another one, I'm not an AI expert or a computer scientist, but I think it would be interesting to maybe explore or have the students look into how this AI model works, like what patterns or what algorithms it's using for the production. That's kind of what I was thinking with these examples.
If I could share, I don't want to take over your screen.
No, go
I have
ahead.
an example, and it really contains it is not STEM related, but I hope it parallels. And really, I was going to potentially share it to thought as a warning. If you work with AI long enough, right, you're going to kind of know what to watch for. But if everyone can see my screen, so what I did, instead of letting Suno create the lyrics, I asked ChatGPT, and what I asked it to do was to come up with a song about the relationship between the production curve and price. And so it did that. And two interesting things I felt like I kind of highlighted here at the end of the verse 2 and on the bridge. I felt like this was, probably helpful, from a conceptual standpoint, right? So, I mean, if I could probably shorten the song if I really wanted to, drop it in my Canvas class or share it with the students or whatever, so that, maybe there's a tune that, but I thought that was particularly helpful. And then the bridge. So we sort of came up with this way of explaining. I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. I should also point out, I don't know if it already knew I was from Texas, but the examples it uses are butter and guns. And so, that might not be appropriate for your class. So I didn't go back and tell it to use different examples. But, Catherine's point about the prompt engineering, I'm just not good at that. And so this is what happens when you're not better at prompt engineering. Anyway, so that's not a STEM example, but I think from the I guess from the aspect of, what concept do you want it to deal with? And I went outside of Suno for that. So, I was kind of playing in two different platforms. But it seemed to be close enough that if I was a better prompt engineer, I could really have probably ended up with some good examples.
I love the integration of using ChatGPT as well, leveraging that tool. Another use case that I just remembered, so I know UT Austin had a group of students that they created an immersive experience, and there were students from a lot of different majors. And that's another area where I can see it being applied, because they had to create kind of like a virtual escape room. So I can see how this app would be a key player in facilitating that experience if you can create your supply song. Awesome. Well, we're right on time. So thanks everyone for joining and being here and the participation. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.